Cookware for Troy's Everyday Eats brought to you by Swiss Diamond, Diamond Reinforced Nonstick Cookware. Troy's Everyday Eats brought to you by The Fresh Market.
Welcome back, everyone. Hanging out with Chef Troy here in our kitchen. He is helping us get hooked up on some gifts that you can give your neighbors or other friends straight out of your own oven. Right. And you're putting together some brittle now.
Right, and this is something my grandmother used to do, and we are at the hard crack stage right at about 330 degrees.
Okay. So, now, what you're making here is caramel or caramel, as some people call it.
Right, and if you take it out and, you know, when it's, if you have this product at that color, but not at 330 degrees, and you put a little bit of cream in it, stir it around, you've got caramel like you can put on ice cream and stuff. But this we've brought up to the hard crack stage. 330 degrees does something kind of funky to it, so it'll harden up, thus the brittle. Now we're doing a roasted pecan and bourbon shot brittle, and I got to kind of work fast here, so I'm going to talk and work at the same time. And my grandmother used to make peanut brittle. They used to grow their own peanuts and all that kind of stuff. So now she flavored hers. Stand back, T. Stand back.
I'm gonna let you go on and talk. Go on, handle that track. I'm already half sick. I don't want to get burned here.
Yeah, we got to get out of here now. Nothing's gonna stick to this Swiss Diamond cookware, but
you know, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because I was asking earlier, how do you make sure that once it dries, it does come up nice and smooth? That you're not scraping.
I'm right now I'm trying to distribute the pecans through here, and this is going to harden up pretty quick. You can see it's already starting to firm up just a little bit. Now I use a silicone pad or a sil pad, just so after it hardens we can take it off. But you could oil the baking sheet, and you know it'll come right up to this. Believe me, I'm telling you, when it's this hard crack stage, it really is hard. It's like hard candy. And you've had brittle before. So we got to let
What you trying to say?
Well, I can just tell by looking at you, at least at one point in your life. Now, this is still really hot, but it's starting to, you know, it's starting to firm up, but it's not hard enough to where we can crack. So basically, I let it sit there for an hour as long as you want. I kind of made this one ahead of time, wrapped it up, and then what we want to do is just kind of break it into some pieces like that, and then you can put it like in a bag with some. I'm not Martha Stewart. You know, you might have to get your wife to help you, figure out how to package it up. But you know, maybe some tissue paper or something in a little bag, or you know, a little tin or something like that. But like I said, my grandma used to make this with peanuts. They grew it in their own garden, and this is kind of like my ode to her, because she always made peanut brittle around Christmas.
And all in all, start to finish, how long does this typically take? You
know, it's going to take you about 25 minutes to get it up to the right temperature. All in all, maybe 45 minutes, and you've got everything in your pantry, and you can flavor it with whatever you want.
All right, Troy, always good stuff. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I want a piece.
We've got Jennifer from Lowe's here with us this morning. Hey, we brought her in to see if we need some heavy equipment to cut this biscotti.
Yeah, really. No, it's because your food is so good we have to share it. We have to show the love, right?
Okay, you can be nice. Now, that thing is hard. It's supposed to be hard.
Now, that's the first bake. I'm going to show you what they look like after the first bake. Right? I got some in the oven. These are the ones that we made on air. We've got two of them. Now, we put cranberry and pistachios in there.
Christmas colors.
All kind of freaking out about that. You know, you said it's a fruitcake
biscotti.
That's a fruitcake biscotti.
No, that's going to be
hot,
not so you said don't touch it.
Okay.
So after about 25 minutes, they went in there for about 325, 330, 350 degrees, whatever your oven's feeling. You know, anywhere between 140 and 500. No, you want to cook it nice and slow, about 25 minutes, so it dries it out, so it gets hard. Okay.
There you go.
Biscotti means twice baked, so you got to cook them one more time. So you're going to take this. Now,
at a slant.
The thing is, when you got nuts and fruit and stuff like that, you got to kind of saw them, because if you just kind of break them, you're going to break them, and they're not going to be pretty like that.
Hence Lowe's and heavy equipment I mentioned.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
A nice chainsaw or a serrated knife will do. And I like to cut them on the bias, like that.
What does
my stomach is growling. That looks good.
This would be straight on the biases like that.
Ah, okay, slanted.
You just learned something.
I did learn something.
Slanted.
Oh, I'm going to go home and be like, yeah, I'm going to cut this on the bias, babe.
On the bias.
Like, stop talking all proper.
We would cut more of those, but we're not going to now. You can tell these are soft, but you want to cool them down first. Before you put them back in the oven. Now, once you get them cut, you put them back in the oven. 5 or 10 minutes. You know, they're going to be twice cooked.
Okay.
And then they come out like this.
Do you put them back in at 350?
350, same temperature. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll put them in for 5, and then I'll flip them over so they can get that nice crust on all sides.
It's a good Dunkaroo. You need a dunk in the coffee.
Coffee or bourbon or whatever you're feeling.
Chocolate.
Yeah, and that was a question you brought up. Can you garnish them different ways? You can take some melted chocolate, dip them in there, and let it harden up in there.
And even just to be different, once you've got your loaf here, can you maybe glaze it with something and then cut it that way?
That may not work.
That may not, okay, all right. That's why I asked before I went and tried it.
No, we also did our roasted bourbon brittle that was super simple to do.
So
you can get
good.
all these recipes on WCCB Charlotte. I've got to point out my breadsticks. We didn't make
What a
those on air.
beautiful centerpiece.
But you can go to
Gorgeous.
cheftroy.net and get that recipe. These are Parmesan rosemary
Parmesan,
breadsticks.
yeah. Oh, my
And, you know,
goodness.
we make a nice tablescape at our house every night.
And it's very fancy.
Every night.
taste.
Not really.
Every night. That's a lot to live up to.
What did you say your centerpiece was?
My mail.
Nice.
Specifically Bill's. And that's our dinner convo.
That's called shabby chic. That's called shabby chic. Right there.
Not nearly as tasty as this. All right, as you mentioned, all these recipes on our web channel, WCCVCharlotte.com.